certainly in it to win it. He's starting to the top left of Atlas in red. The Startail player, a former Zenix member.
Startail Avenge.
Startail Avenge, the last time that we've seen him was in the GSTL where he took out Marine King.
And he's up against the Zerg to the bottom right, named himself after a StarCraft unit. He is.
CJ Hydra.
Unless he also just really likes water. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's after the shortened version for Hydralisk.
Has a few fangirls here in the studio.
Yes.
Vocal ones. I'm not quite sure if you could pick that up on the phone, on the microphones, but still.
Definitely can't pick it up on your phone. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Not a feature just yet, but it's coming.
Maybe in the future.
You can watch the GSL on your phone, by the way. There's several different ways to do that. The iPhone app is one of them. You can also use Twitch, as I do, to watch when I'm on the go. Highly recommend. Tell your friends. Spawning pool first here as expected, and the probe will come and see this.
Yeah. Probe is on the way in, and Hydra doesn't take any chances here. He's starting things off with the spawning pool, allows him to get the Zerglings out and the Queen in case there is a block at the natural with the pylon.
Yep, probe just peeks in here. Bit too late to block the hatch, though. He's just going to walk around it in shame.
I'm a bit surprised here. I mean, usually you see players to delay this expansion for as much as possible, and every second just counts. It doesn't only delay the Zerg from mining from the second mineral patches, but it's also a very good thing that you can do to delay the production a little bit. So he should have done that. Apparently his computer has a few problems. He is lagging.
Yeah, 2 people already voted him out of the game. That's really rude of them. I think that's just a bug, but
yeah.
You know, what is that votes thing, by the way? Like, that always shows up a little bit weird.
I have no idea.
It's like, oh, I think, okay, there's a pause. So,
something's definitely going on with this computer. So the observer just paused the game, and the admin will go over to just check out what's happening here.
Speaking of the pro block, though, there was a new Carbot video regarding this situation released very recently.
A new Carbot video, and players all around the world felt with the Terran there.
Yeah,
no,
with the Zerg.
It was actually a Zerg, yes, only.
I definitely recommend going and checking out Carbot animations, especially if you have some downtime. You can watch that clip. It's like 30 seconds long.
Yep.
Just go check that out.
And while you watch it, make sure that you add the 2 of us on Twitter while we're at it. Him at ProxyWolf, myself at Caldo. We'd appreciate it. But we, of course, want to see what's going on in the game right now. So the admin already had it over, and we're going to find out what's going on in just a few seconds.
Yeah, it looks like a computer issue, like not his hardware.
You know, right now I'm actually only happy that, first of all, the game just started, so nothing really happened, and that worst case scenario would be a resume from replay. And especially for us, with that one GSTL final that we had in Las Vegas, this is a bit of a blessing, I would say.
You know, that situation that occurred, like, it just feels more and more comfortable to talk about as it goes on. As the time, it was very, very stressful. That sort of situation will never really occur that way ever again in StarCraft 2.
We had Marine King up against Parting. It was Prime Team against Startail back then, and in the middle of like the final few minutes of the game, we had a lag and one of the players dropped. So that was very frustrating. The admins had to rule a regame, but in this situation, a lot of people argued that there was no way for Marine King to take this game anymore.
Yeah, it's a very historic game.
Marine King continued to win the regame, so a lot of people were quite angry with this. Then also what happened was Bomber came out as his next player, got a little bit overconfident, dropped a lot of mana mules against Marine King, and suddenly it turned out that Bomber was actually not as far ahead as he thought he was, and Marine King takes that game too. It was very frustrating back then, but that's one of the main reasons why the 2 of us, we commentated that back then, are quite happy that we have the resume from replay function now.
Very, very, you know, you were in front of a big crowd of people and thousands and thousands more online, and to hear in our headsets there was going to be a regame and to have to tell everybody that was not easy, but it was a long time ago. Things are different now. We live in the present, which is at the time for that the future, where things have been fixed and improved. Don't worry, I'm the master of time. All right, so everything is good. He says he's ready. Go, go. We have a 5-second countdown, and we're going to be starting.
Hydra against Avenge. We are going into game number 1 once again, and starting right, of course, with a block that we had at the hatcher, the attempted block that didn't really work out for the Protoss player. Hydra got his expansion up in time, and this is, of course, a bit annoying for Avenge, but let's see how he's going to follow this up. Apparently, we're not ready just yet.
Oh, just wait a second.
That was such a cool lead up into the game. We could have just completely connected there and jumped in, and now they're ruining it.
They're talking to the coach about it, explaining things to him before they go into it, looks like. So
To the coach?
Yeah.
In chat?
Not in chat. He's just saying, wait a second, explain to the coach. So, because I guess he just wants to know exactly what the situation was. You know, we've got our referee, the former TSL coach. Got to let everybody know, you know, whether he's getting a warning or what happened.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for an update as well. I want to know what exactly was the problem. If it was his computer, if it was an issue caused by settings, maybe keyboard.
Just a lag issue with the computer, it turns out. We just got the update. And 3, 2, 1, start. We're back in the game.
Shutting down the torrent program usually solves that issue.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, you run a lot of weird GIFs in the background that you like to look at. Things can get weird.
He was probably just looking at the cardboard video that we mentioned earlier, and now that he watched it, he's like, yeah, okay, I know the situation, I can deal with this. Handle that pretty well in this game.
Yep. Well, Avenge, going into a very normal Protoss versus Zerg build, his probe will be chased away after stealing those crystals, those minerals.
Yep. What we see right now is the, well, we have a very normal build for Avenge 2. This is one of the things that we've been discussing a little bit, especially earlier this day when we were talking about the changing build orders in the matchups, especially the Naniwa Gateway opening that we had at DreamHack quite often gives Protoss a completely different edge over Zerg players. And we've been talking about how, historically speaking, the Forge First build developed for Protoss players because they were not able to hold an expansion with a gateway into expand. A triple gateway into expand was not really an answer either because of the Zerg's economy that was just getting completely out of hand. But now you have the Mothership Core, and you can start with a gateway expand once again because it lends itself to give you another weapon against early aggression. It's something that Avenge in this game doesn't use, but we might see the build in the best of 3.
Yeah. And this Ling, it saw its life flash before its eyes. You saw that Ling, he looked at the cannon, he was like, and he walked away, he was like, no, and he ran in for it, and he took one shot of the cannon, but now he's hanging around, wants to get some scouting information. He's going to actually successfully delay Avenge's tech quite a bit, and he's also forced a lot of lost mining time on these probes. Needs to make sure he doesn't lose this right now, though, because that would ruin his entire advantage. That was close. Oh, he messes that up.
Yeah, the hero Zergling, and not really hero today.
Yeah, he really wanted to stick around and spot for a Stargate, for example.
Good scout here with the probe, scouts the position, and Hydra actually changed the position for the third base, so that was really well done by Avenge.
So far we have no +1 and no tech. He only starts a Mothership Core. There's the +1. I think we may actually see a robotics with this. The Stargate, there's no pylon that indicates Stargate play.
There we go. The Overlord, of course, sees the Mothership Core, but vice versa, and therefore the high ground vision has been granted. The Stalker is trying to take down the Overlord, but the Overlord is really trying to stay alive here.
He has a group of Lings. He might try to trap the Stalker, but the Lings are going to take too long, and he actually loses the Overlord. Doesn't even have to go outside. Oh! Wow.
He survives. Barely.
He's going to go into a fast third base counter. Pre-7-minute Nexus, the Overlord goes down. This is nuts, though. He's going for a really, really risky third base with the Mothership Core.
That is one of the fastest third bases or third Nexa that I've seen for Protoss so far.
Did that Overlord see that? I'm going to check this.
I think so. Yeah, he saw it. He knows.
Oh, he knows. This is really bad for Avenge. All he has to do is turn on the heat here. With no link speed, though, it's not going to be as easy as he would like it to be. There's 2 entrances, however, to this third Nexus.
This is really a great opening for Avenge. I like this. I like this a lot. This already builds up to be quite the exciting game. The Roach Warren goes down at 740 here, and the Stalkers, they are in position. The speed is not done, so the Stalkers can just take down the Lynx without a problem at all.
Yep, and especially with the Mothership Core adding a little bit of extra DPS, should be able to kill at least one more. Boom. Stalkers and Zerglings have the same speed, off creep. When there's no speed.
Yeah, as a Protoss, you always have to be a little bit careful about the speed timings for the Zerg players. Protoss know these timings, they have them down cold because they know that as long as there's no speed for the Zerg, they can harass with their Stalkers. They can be on the map with the units, but when speed kicks in, there is no way to save your Stalkers from the Zerglings, so you have to be very careful here. And this is also the reason why a lot of Protoss players now rely heavily on the Mothership Core when they move out. The recall option is just so good.
Hydra, after seeing this third base, had a choice to make, and the choice he made was Hydras. He's going into Hydraless Den. He's probably going to try to hit a really nice timing with Hydras and Roaches to knock that third Nexus down. And one thing that he needs to really make sure he improves is his creep spread a little bit. He doesn't even have his main base connected to his natural. He is getting a 4th hatchery.
Another Overseer just barely survives. But the creep spread, that's something that we see in general. Zerg's lacking a bit against Protoss. They just seem to think that against a race where they have the Observer, it's not as important as against Terran. I kind of agree to a certain extent, but having a good creep spread never really harms you, and if you have the macro to really pull it off, then you should always make sure that you spread the creep as much as possible. It has no downside.
We have, by the way, Infestation Pit, so what we may see is that Hydra Swarm Host build with a bunch of Overseers and Spore Crawlers. We use the Hydras to snipe the Observers, and then you just continue to pressure with the Swarm Host. There's the Swarm Host right there.
Look how many gateways we have. 6 additional gateways are being built. This reminds me very much of Entombed Valley and the builds that we've seen there a couple of times, where you go up into 11 gateways.
This is going to put him up into 10.
Yeah, and with 10 gateways, and Blink,
and plus 2,
you can hit such a sick timing. This is Wings of Liberty style. This is what we have seen on Entombed Valley.
And, you know, he's getting to that point where he's going to hit right as the first Swarm Hosts are coming out and getting ready. I don't know how effective this is going to be, though, if he doesn't have the Observer. He doesn't have an Observer at all, and eventually those Locusts are going to start to stack up. He has to hit this timing. It's very razor thin.
I really love, by the way, that Hydra is going for this Swarm Host and Hydra composition. It's a strong one, but it's one that we don't see all that often in televised matches. Most players still rely on very traditional unit compositions, but now he knows what's coming. He knows what's coming, and he's sending out the first few Locusts, and this is where Avenge will realize that he needs detection.
Yep, and he's got no way of doing it. He doesn't even have a robotics.
Locust upgrade is nearly completed. Speed for the Hydras on the way. We have Roaches coming in. Here come the Locusts, and I don't think that Avenge can do too much here. How many Swarm Hosts do we have?
Right now we have 12 or 7. 12 Roaches. Great force fields here. The forward pylon is going down. Here comes the next wave of Locusts.
He has a few additional forward pylons that he can use as a warp in point. This third base is still under a lot of pressure and will most likely go down, but this is the only thing that Avenge can achieve here. He won't be able to push through, not against the Swarm Hosts.
He cannot end the game here, but he is doing great Blink Stalker Micro, trying to push those Locusts back until they time out. Unfortunately, not able to do that. And now all the sentries are starting to fall down. The Locusts do so much damage. He needs to be blinking those Stalkers back. There he goes.
He won't even be able to take down the third base if it continues like this. He's taking down at least the Roaches, but those Swarm Hosts, they do a lot of damage. And this is free units traded against money.
Yeah, Blinks straight to the side to get that hatchery. A very nice move, but he's losing a lot of Stalkers in the process, and the Swarm Hosts are not going to stop. The Observer hasn't even been started yet, and he's going into Hydralisk with this. So smart, even a Ling flank here.
It was important for him to take down that fourth base or that third base if you want, because if he doesn't even kill that, he might as well leave the game. This is a very huge commitment to this aggression, and he doesn't really have tech. He doesn't have any tech at all, and he's up now against Hydralisk Swarm Host. This composition in Avenge situation is nearly unbeatable.
He does not have a robotic support bay. And without that, you can't fight against those two units, Locusts and Hydras. You need it. You need Colossi, and he doesn't have it, and he's not going to have it for a long time. He may never have it. He may just try to hit with the second wave with the Observer.
Colossi or Storm is what you need against the Locust. The one thing that we have now in the situation for Hydra is that he only has 7 Swarm Hosts. He doesn't have 13 or 12. Here comes the Robotic Spay. The Stalkers are still accompanied by the Mothership Core. He needs to get out of there at some point.
He needs to recall. He cannot be surrounded. There's the recall. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needed. Without the recall, he would have lost way too much. But still, the situation is still true. Now we can set up a contain Hydra, that is.
And some Zealots here are going to force a cancel on this hatchery again. This is so important. There's the cancel.
But he has 3 bases already. So they're on 3 base against 3 base. The cancel is important.
Can he get these? Well, he may very well get them. He needs a target.
There's no detection. Oh, there is. Oh, there we go. He has the Observer in position.
But he loses a lot of Stalkers with this. And here come the Hydras. They're going to catch even more. And he's a blink out. He's going to get the Mothership Core.
That was not really worth it.
Not worth it at all. And now he's going to face this huge Hydra force with Hydra speed.
And he does not have any Colossi at all just yet. The Hydralisks with so much damage potential are awesome against gateway units.
Here comes the Overseer as well, and Observer needs to get out. He's warping in Zealots right into the Hydralisk faces, but they're dying so fast.
Bye-bye Immortal, and now the pylons are going down. The Stalkers trying to retreat another round of warp-ins, but there's so much DPS for the CJ Entus player.
Bye-bye Immortal, bye-bye Stalkers, and bye-bye Avenge. Hydra doubling his supply now, taking out the last of these Stalkers. We'll be able to get the Forge now as well if he wants even one single Swarm Host, adding some Locusts in here. The Forge is gone.
Yeah, the Forge is gone, and so are the chances to get other upgrades in the game. Hydra is on the move. He's about to complete his +2 attack upgrade. Switching now into the Spire attack against a potential follow-up with Colossi, and he's even getting the core.
Core is gone. The last gateway here at the wall falls as well. Locust coming in, he now has 2 Swarm Hosts. More Roaches streaming across as well, and Avenge is going to have to type out at any moment here. He's got nothing left.
GG.